Okay, I hope this thing is on. But this is the box. And I am Terry. TD more than just orchids. And this is a non-scheduled impromptu live of my highly anticipated unboxing from none other than the Andy of Andy's Orchids. So, I may go inside a minute and get a beverage, and then I'll be right back to unbox this box. Actually, Okay, I am here and ready to do this thing. All right. And I'm hoping that you can see this. And once again, if you're not familiar with Andy, here's the info. And I highly advise, if you are able to, or in the Southern California area, I would go here before going to Fred Clark's. And I say that because they are within 45 minutes of each other. And most people's instinct is to do the reverse, but Andy's, you will get lost. And I say that because the website is extensive, but what is there, it would take 20 websites to put it all, if you get my drift. So you have to see it in person. And that's all I'll say. I am excited. All right, and like as if we did not know, I mean, they could have saved that, because the thing that I love most about Andy's, besides the fact that it is huge mungadunga and it is legendary, probably everybody in the orchid world knows of Andy. Andy's on a stick. But what I'm trying to say is, I forgot what I was trying to say, but I guess I was saying go here before you go to SVO. And trust me, you will not have any money, because there are plants there that you will want that you never knew were in existence that you will see at Andy's. So what I mean is you will blow your budget. So, all right. But, what I was saying was what I love the most is before they even let you into the greenhouses, they pull you into the office, and if you have purchased previously, they go through all of your orders like you are in school. And you have to be honest and say if it's alive or dead. And if it's dead, then they tell you, or Sabina, or, it's usually been Sabine, she will tell you the culture, what you're doing wrong. And it's not really an embarrassing experience. It's more of a teaching experience, because they really do not they won't sell you a plant if they even think you're going to kill it. And that's just the honest to God truth. It's about conservation. And really, it's best that you don't waste your money on something that you're going to kill anyway, because you'll find something to replace that plant with, trust me, at Andy's. He has more than just orchids. But I told my story, and let's just get to it. Okay. Andy I really owe him an apology, because I was stressed, and it was due to stressors in my personal life, but when you're dealing with rare orchids, you aren't really conf- comfortable until you have your hands on that plant. I'm sure I'm not the only one that has bought a plant on eBay or anywhere, and then, a week later, the nursery or owner or whatever calls and says, whatever. The plant has been sold or whatever. Or just, took a turn for the bad and they don't want to sell it, refund, blah, blah, blah. It's a big disappointment. So, anyway, I'll get right to it. This is Epidendrum, pseudo-epidendrum. Now, this plant, amazingly, when I started growing orchids, this was everywhere. I mean, this was everywhere. I mean, it was like a peasant. And now you can't find it anywhere. The only place I found it is at Andes, the true species. Not, Rene Marquez or da 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 da. The straight species. And the last time I visited Andes, in fact, I went with my good friend Jess, and Andy had a big pseudoepidendrum that I walked past and saw. And Sabine said, "Oh, you got to ask Andy." And Andy happened to be there, and he was annoyed. And I've told that story. I mean, literally, he did not want to give it to me. And he had maybe a big mother plant, and then he had maybe 4 divisions. And he gave me one then, and I didn't even have to beg. So, I'll put a picture of that. You should know what that is. That is the orange lip and the green sepals and petals. Looks like it's plastic. Surprisingly, there is some fragrance, but it is a reed stem epidendrum. And looky here, Joshua. I almost said a bad word, but this is Brassavola reginae. And I have a Brassavola reginae that I got not so long ago. A little piece, a piece about this big. I've shown it recently in my videos. But this one takes the cake. And honestly, I didn't expect the other one to make it. So there. I am loading up on my species. But this, to make a long story short, you see how big that is. And plus, it's mounted. Reginae, it says it's a Brazilian species, warm grower, bright light. I always thought these were more intermediate to the cooler side. They don't like so much heat. And that goes true as well for this pseudoepidendrum. As with all reed stems, I would say, epidendrums, except for radiata, which is like a weed. It's like a peasant. In San Diego, you see those growing on the side of the road in nothing but dirt and sand or whatever. And if this is, oh my God, I am. See, this is why I think some of these older established nurseries, because I'm old, and Andy's was around when, he's older than me. Well, anyway, people retire or, you know, start letting stuff go. And when I receive plants like this, because I've gotten diffusum, the same plant from Andy in the past, and the size of the plant that I received was probably, it was the size, it was as thin as the root. Maybe this thick, but they were tiny. Tiny. I mean, literally tiny. And it kind of makes me pause when the plants start looking like specimens. And as I said again, Andy did not want to get rid of those pseudo-epidendrums last time I was there, which was not that long ago. And now I didn't have to beg. I'll put pictures on each of those, and sorry I am rattling, but I'm just telling you how it is and my thoughts. OMG. Wow. 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 This is why well, it's not the only reason, but it is. It's a diorama. I mean, look at the roots. That's from the plant. And look at the little plants and the moss. And this species, Inobulbon munificum, which I guess it's den munificum now, but that's what it will always be to me in Inobulbon. Caledonia, warm intermediate, and bright light. They do like it a little bit less of water, but they still like the light and the humidity. Just less water. Wow. And I should say thank you, Pete, because Pete is my orchid hunter, as you know, and he, what the heck? You see that? Is that a California snail? Where's the shell? That's minding your poo. Powers of observation. If I would have not looked closely, you see it's trying to run away. No, you're lucky I don't have salt, sugar. I'll just blow you away. Okay, well, anyway, I didn't do such a good job. Okay, so, but yeah, my buddy Pete bought a bunch of these, and this was a $50 plant. And his has a spike growing on it. So this is a bloom-sized plant. 50 bucks. Get it while you can because they're very rare. They have that special basket as the mature bulb firms up. As you can see, this one is maturing, the last to mature, and it is a deciduous, so you don't worry about the leaves. But if the leaves do stay on the plant, that is a triumph. Anyway, I'm going on and on and on, but I am excited. Inobulbon has cascading inflorescence of many flowers, and they're dark dark colored, maybe even maroon brown, and there is some fragrance, I think. All right. And let's see here. So yeah, Josh is the reason that I got this. And here, right? Because I had a phone call. Are we back? Yeah, here we are. Okay, so I'm just gonna go on. And there's not that. I'm not gonna say there's not that, but I'm trying to find the bottom of the couch. Just wait. Okay. I think that this. Let's figure this out. All right. So this is what Andy meant. This is the reason well, all of these plants I wanted, but this is the plant that I called about. I've been on a search for Cymbidiella anything. And I happened to just call Andy. And did he not have one? Cymbidiella flabellata. Says it likes bright light. See, I wouldn't listen to that. The only bright light that it likes is more in the wintertime. This is an understory plant, which means it is mostly terrestrial. You can see it's planted up in moss. Moisture absorbent. But Andy did say that the pseudobulbs were spaced such and such far apart. And I have never seen, so what I'm gonna have to do some reading because I never knew flabellata to be, or any Cymbidiella to be pendant or like this. So it may be that I need to just get a bigger basket and just kind of make sure and circle, because I am but the rhizome seems to be supportive of the plant. And indeed, if I look it up on Illustrated Orchids, and it says that it grows like this, then I'll let it. Because, I have no problem with area roots. I let the plant or the roots do what they are doing and not try to manipulate them to my will. But anyway, this is one of the plants. It's Madagascan. So, and it has a symbiotic relationship with staghorn fern that's Madagascan in nature, a species. So this usually is found accompanied by that particular staghorn fern. But, like I said, it doesn't want to dry out. And it likes mostly dappled sun in the grow season. And then when it's not growing, it likes more sun. Anyway, the flower is very brilliantly, again, it's like plastic, but it's fragrant. It's chartreusey with black spots, and then the lip is, what is it? It's like a reddish orange. Very, very striking. Anyway, this is a lovely plant to have, a very rare species, and you know where to get it now, if you're into that type of thing. And oh my gosh, I forgot all about these. See, I am so excited about all of them that I forget that every single one of these plants are special. And you see that? This is an Eranthes. And you know I love Eranthes. This is an Angraexoid. This is Eranthes denticulata. It's from Madagascar. These like shade. They don't like to dry out, so it's in moss. And these inflorescence are ever blooming and can continue to put out flowers or kikis. And there's, I'm trying to get the flower. Very small and tiny, I love it. Josh, you're jealous. And it looks like there's another bud. See that? But Eranthes, the flowers are ghost-like. And, oh, I thought I had cut the flower off. But yeah, they're pendant like that, and some of them are fragrant. But anyway, let's move on. I could talk all day. All right. In spike, folks. In spike. And here is another. And I see spikes. See that? And it looks like it could be dead, and there's another spike. But nonetheless, very healthy, of course, plant with, you know, because it has bloomed previously, and it has another baby. So, in time, it will be very floriferous when there's multiple spikes. And just look how the aerial roots are just coming out of the pot. That's indicative of the humidity level that these plants like, which is, you know, between 65 and 85. This is Eranthes antennaphora, another Madagascar species. Again, it likes shade and warmth, and, you know, steady water. Doesn't want to dry out at all. Water it as it approaches dryness. And also, if you plant this in moss, you have to repot them once a year. You do, because the roots will not survive, and that's what sustains the plant. You can also, once it's bloom-sized, if you pot it up in a more porous mixture, like a Phalaenopsis mix, or you could even go with some like leca with cocoa husk, or even sphagnum moss, but a mixture. That can be repotted probably a couple of years. But these plants really are susceptible to acid buildup and salt buildup. So, and also I should add, with most Angraexoids, the purer the water, the more clean the foliage will remain. If you're concerned about that type of thing, that's just a little piece of advice. And let's see, there may be one. That might be it. But let's see. Okay, here we go. Oh my. Okay. I forgot all about this. And this might be the last one. And my dog is going crazy. Like I said, I'm expecting another. delivery from Raphael. So, this is another one of my favorite plants. And honestly, this is the very first Angraecum that I got. It was a gift to me from my partner at the time, Mark McClung, and we were living in Seattle. In Seattle, of course, rainy, the temperature more intermediate. So there's a lot of humidity and temperature is more, it's not extreme. So this was a lot easier to grow. This is Angraecum calceolaris. And as you see, oh my God. But you can tell from what it's potted in, it likes moisture, humidity. These spikes, unfortunately, I don't think are continuously blooming. When they're done, they dry up like such. All these spikes are new. And it produces very tiny, tiny, tiny flowers that are translucent and they look like little bugs. And, you know, I think the inflorescence is sequential. But once it's done, it's done. As opposed to the others can bloom from the same spike for years and years and years. So, wow, Andy outdid himself. Nice, nice plant and several spikes. So, and again, these like between, you know, shade and bright, they can take it a little bit, but the temperature they like is more of an intermediate side. Wow. Wow. Okay. Let's make sure. Actually, I got somewhere the. Well, anyway, that'll have to be it because if there's more in there, it's not a plant anymore. So, since I've already made a mess, I'll just go around and give one more look. And this is what I was looking for. Just to give you an idea of what I spent. So, Angraecum calceolaris, 24, was that 28? Cymbidiella flagellaris, 95. Epidendrum diffusum, 31. And 48 looks like the Epidendrum, pseudoepidendrum, and then the Epidendrum, well, the Inobulbon munificum, 50. Okay, so one more look. There's the Epidendrum, pseudoepidendrum, diffusum, Inobulbon munificum, the amazingly alien and bug-like. I wish there was a flower to show you, but anyway, it'll bloom, hopefully. And that's Angraecum calceolaris. Then here is Cymbidiella flabellata. And here's two Angraexoids. And Tenephora. And this one is Denticulata. And that's all she wrote, folks. So, if you've enjoyed this orchid, please hit the like button. Oh, and here's my Reginae, Brassavola Reginae, on that plank. And the Inobulbon, Munificum. Unique and amazing. All of them are. You better go get them. So anyway, as I was saying, if you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe. And maybe even hit the notifications if you think I'm special. But other than that, thanks for watching and enjoy your orchids. Bye.